Dziękuję bardzo. Witam serdecznie Państwa.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Madam President, welcome to the European Solidarity Center in my hometown. It's not a coincidence that we're meeting here, because we all realize how important is solidarity today. Solidarity between people, solidarity between those who need our support. And here I'm referring primarily to Ukraine defending itself against the Russian aggression. The meeting today with President of the Commission and the entire college, as well as the Polish government, was devoted to the work of the Polish presidency. But this work covers not only procedures, technical rules, legislation, etc. This work has got a very particular context. I have no doubt, and this is a view others share, that we're living in times which are changing the course of history in a very radical way. The European Union needs to confront the challenge of evolving circumstances. We talked about how to make the European Union ready for this, and the work of the presidency will support this objective, as well as the work of the European Commission. We want to make the European Union and its member states secure. Security is our priority. But it was not just an idea. When we announced that security was to be our priority, everybody, the President of the Commission and all European leaders, concurred with this choice as a priority. It goes without saying that this is what makes the circumstances so unique. I said to Madam President that when I was at the helm at the first Polish presidency years ago, nobody would have thought to discuss security as an issue. This alone shows how circumstances have changed and how important it is to include preparedness, flexibility, readiness to change course in our daily work. We discussed most difficult topics. In the context of a demonstration, which you could all hear because it was right outside our building, whenever I see in Europe how people experience our decisions, I say that the European idea has long stopped to be an abstract. So whatever we decide touches the lives of hundreds and millions of Europeans. So if there are high emotions related to a political issue, that shows that there is a need somewhere in Europe, and it's the job of the European Union to make people secure. And security is not an abstraction, and European Union is not an abstraction. So regardless if you're a farmer, scientist, student, etc., doesn't matter, because everybody needs security wherever they live in Europe. That is why it is so important that it's an overriding priority which guides our action. So we should give up our routines and over-regulation. We should give up anything that limits our energy and our spirit of enterprise. Let's give up everything that may put Europeans in a worse position compared to which they are now. We need to improve competitiveness and security in Europe. In Poland, we feel quite secure. It's a good place to live. Well, I'm convinced it's really the best place in the world for known reasons, but I want all Europeans to feel as secure as do Poles in Warsaw or in Gdansk. We have discussed something which stirs a lot of debate. and we discussed topic which brought the demonstrators to Gdańsk today, the future of the Green Deal, of the future of the European Pact for Asylum and Migration, the future accession of Ukraine. Those topics are debated at family dinners because they have consequences. So if we make good decisions, they will bring good consequences for people. If we commit errors, they will also be experienced by all Polish families. I have already said to Ursula that for the Polish presidency and for the Polish government, security is particularly important because of the eastern border. And since our eastern border is the external border of the European Union, I am very thankful for a confirmation that the duties related to protecting that border will be treated as common actions. We have already found resources for that, and a lot of resources were promised for the infrastructure on this border, and I am very thankful for your reassurance and your promise that Europe will have to invest more to make eastern border more secure on land and also to invest in the East Shield infrastructure. I'll be very frank, and you know my opinion. I know that this is a very difficult task for the European Commission, but for Poland it doesn't really matter from which mechanisms we finance security. But I know that this is a discussion which needs to take time in Europe. So whatever we finance that from, it has to be financed. The eastern border needs to be protected, the border from Russia and Belarus. And the same goes for the Baltic Sea. We have discussed this with the Nordic countries. We need to make Baltic more secure against the shadow fleet, which have been operating there for some time and destroying our undersea infrastructure. So the Baltic Sea needs protection, not only from NATO, which we already have, but it also needs specific decisions which will allow countries to ensure the protection of their territorial waters. The Migration Pact has not been the subject of our debate today, but I have confirmed once again, and thank you for your understanding, that the European governments made a decision about the pact. Today, Poland is hosting nearly 2 million refugees from Ukraine, which puts us in a very particular position. And I said it very, very clearly to the Polish public, and I also repeated it today to Ursula, and I thank you for your understanding that Poland will not implement this pact that will increase the number of migrants in Poland. We are ready to cooperate with anyone to protect Europe against illegal migration, but Poland is not ready to accept any additional burdens. I think we are shouldering already more than anybody a few years could have foreseen. On the Green Deal and other actions to protect the climate. And I think this is something which is worth repeating here in Poland. Our objectives remain unchanged. Our planet needs to be protected. Nobody is questioning the fact that climate change is causing natural disasters, and we experience a recent disaster, massive flooding. At the same time, our action to protect the climate cannot hurt families and citizens, and they cannot mean disproportionate burdens or burdens which are not understood or which are detrimental to the competitiveness of European businesses and undermine the standard of living of European families or undermine European interests. And the same goes for energy prices. And I will repeat this appeal. at all European councils, and I know that I will not be alone. And I know that after our conversation, I can count on your understanding, Ursula. And maybe it's an obvious thing to say, but we need decisions. Europe cannot make any decisions which will increase energy prices further. All of us, we need to make decisions which will lead to lowering energy prices. If we don't manage to lower energy prices, our wish to be more competitive than China or United States will be an illusion. We have discussed a lot about it. We will look for measures to finance new investments and also regulatory means to avoid the risk of increasing energy prices, because our goal is to lower energy prices. We will disagree on many things. We'll be very stubborn on the topics which are important to us, such as security and competitiveness. But we will also be very concrete and focused. This is a tradition of people from Gdansk. Concrete steps, action. If we speak, if we walk the talk. If we talk, we do the walk. So we need to find money. We need to introduce decisions which will make Europe simpler, to make our dreams come true. As I have already told you, Gdansk is a particular place. Dreams come true here, even most incredible political dreams. This has been our experience for decades. Everything is possible here if people really believe in it. We believe that Europe can be made better and work better for all citizens, not for some, for everybody. So this all has been a topic of our discussion today.
Proszę przewodniczącą Komisji Europejskiej Ursulę von der Leyen.